How so to go back to our kind of non-traditional sources, and I think that whole concept of where you can have a conversation is absolutely applicable because I think what people don't realize is that not everyone's on LinkedIn in the first place. We actually tested the theory yesterday with the patents we looked up, right? So
And
why
yes,
would a scientist be on LinkedIn?
and again, sometimes they are, and
Right.
sometimes they aren't. I've been using patent searching for recruiting for about, oh my lord, so 10, so 2, so 3, close to 25 years.
Wow.
God, Jesus God. I mean, literally, I have T-shirts and so many of the people listening today, which is scary. But that's a whole nother story. Uh, but one of the things is, I think so. Screens are shared now.
Yeah, let me share your screen so you can actually, show your, hold on. Mm, Technology. Keep talking.
Talking. Okay, well, I'm making things. One of the things that I do is, and again, this is the patent searching as an example is not something that's useful in every case. It's if you're looking for scientists or hardcore technologists, typically things on the hardware realm. Um, I'm going to show my screen. The hardware realm, or even algorithmic patents are starting to increase in scope. One of the things that I like to do is because patent searching, you are getting into terms that in most cases you will never see on a job description. As an example here, I'm going to go to um, these are all the classes of patents. And Katrina, can you see this? See
Yep.
the United States Patent Numbers? I hope everybody can. These are all the class numbers and titles of all different kinds of patents. And these go on all the way 200s, 300s, 400s, 500s, 6, 7. There are some special patents here, categories that you will not see. These are patents that are associated with national defense, and only if you have a certain clearance can you look at these things. But here's one. Yeah, nanotechnology is pretty high, so that's patent class 977. So we're going to click on Go, and you can see within each patent class, you have an additional level of detail with which you can look for things. Now, I'm going to pick up one thing. I'm going to click on which one looks really kind of neat. Um, this is the one group 7 to 5 base compounds. Now, if you are dealing with uh, working at a company that does these things, you know what this means is. But let me show you how to use this. This is patent class 977, and I'm going to look at a subclass called 813 related to semiconductors. Let me show you how it would work. I would go to a patent site. I happen to like free patents online. It's just something that I've used for many years, and it works for me. So I'll show you how you can use it for searching. Now, the patent searching has its own taxonomy, its own way of searching, its own fields, and they're all here. And certainly, it behooves us to do something for recruiting tools to do a very deep search on it.
Mhm.
But I know, and I know the terms. If I'm going to look for a patent class, and that was again, what number did I did I choose here again? I chose
Mm,
this is 977
Yeah.
813. So I'm gonna go 977 813, and I'm gonna just look for all patents where at least one of the inventors is from the U.S. That's the taxonomy. Booleans in patent searching have to be uppercase. I'm gonna look for patents, patent applications, and I'm gonna sort them chronologically. So I'm gonna search just as an example, and I see these things. That's not. That's. I might be lead selenium. I'm not sure if I remember that correctly, but this is. It could be lead selenium nanowire having, but this shows that you have the inventor, whose name is Edward Foos, lives in Alexandria, Virginia. The government of the United States works for the Navy.
Maybe, yeah.
And the cool thing about it is, I'm just going to go check. Let's see if Edward Foos is on. I don't know if he is or not. We're doing this live.
Yep.
In this case, he happens to be there, which is Ducky. I'm okay with that.
Which, when we tested it twice yesterday, nobody came up.
Yeah, and my years of doing it, I say 60 to 70% of people who have patents and who are inventors do not have LinkedIn profiles. But this just shows, in this case, see, I don't think his patent is listed. See if his patent is listed here. He certainly, oh, there it is. His patent, his patent application is not listed, but his patent is listed there.
Right.
So in this case, the beauty of doing a patent search is like this. When you reach out to Ed, you reference things like this, and only hardcore, completely goofy recruiters will actually look at this stuff. And so that just creates more believability when you reach out, and provided you do read it. But the cool thing about patents, Katrina, and the audience is this. You can see all the other patents that the examiner used to assess whether this one was novel or not. And each of these other patents has names associated with them. So you can start creating essentially a dartboard, a target list, a community. Now the other cool thing is, and again, this gets into tremendous detail here, but the primary class where this one is located is 428401. Now before I click on it, I'm going to go back and see what 428 is as a category for this. And 428 is stock material or miscellaneous articles. I don't know what that means, but I'm going to go look. Another one was 401. Then I'm going to go down to within that category, look at 401, and that's not even listed here. So there's, oh, maybe it is 401, 401, 401.
While you look, I just want to add, Sean was saying, he was routinely testing biotech on checking if they were even in LinkedIn, and he said about 70% were on it. Or no, 70% were not on it. He's like 1 of 3 were not on LinkedIn. And that's a lot, right? Like when you're trying to...
Your mileage will vary.
Yeah.
According to this. But in this case, it's associated with a primary category. So if I click on that, and this is one way of expanding your talent bases, these are other patents that are related to this initial one. And each of these laterally aligned colloidal nanorods assemblies, each of these has names and locations associated with them.
Right.
So you can see how fairly quickly you can start creating a dartboard, a potential call list, a potential list of things that people you can reach out to. And the beauty of taking an approach like this in these certain areas, you can do the patent searches. You can go to the hiring manager and you can say, which one of these patents get you all hot and bothered?
Right. It's something they can react to.
Exactly. There has to be a little bit of drama associated with what you do. Because if you say, look, if you can tell me which ones of these, brother, get you really excited, brother, then I can go after them. And I can say, you, Katrina, my hiring manager was jumping up and down when I showed them your patent.
Thank you, Hulk Hogan. I enjoyed that impression.
There are no sex tapes involved, so don't worry.
So, of course, the puppy decided to join in. So Greg actually just chimed in that he's actually used company directories, especially for universities, to be able to find scientists because there are obviously some on staff. What do you think of that? Pardon?
Is this Greg Hawks?
It is.
Greg Hawks. Hello, Greg. Well, he's right. The other thing you can do is, if you have a certain, you can also site search all universities. So if you type, for example, go up here, site edu in Earl research space Let's go colloidal. That dealing with the suspensions of slurries. It sounds worse than it is, doesn't it?
Coital,
But you can
colloidal,
see
same difference.
colitis, things like that. But this goes, you can see all the research and the people who do things that have the word colloidal. If that was something, usually something related to particles and aerosols, and even what we were looking at yesterday, lubrication. Which is, by the way, what we were looking at yesterday. It just, I don't know how that word came up.
There's a patent. There's a patent for that.
There are whole slews of patents on lubrication.
Yes.
But Greg's right. And, part of what you're doing is, when you sole source, and especially when it comes to LinkedIn, you're going where everyone else is going. I mean, do something different. Be a little unique.
Yeah.
Reach out to a person with something that they're going to go, good Lord, no one's ever done that to me. No one's ever read my patents. I thought only my mom did.